Welcome to Gruesome Magazine. Tonight we're reviewing Margot, streaming on Paramount Plus.
Gruesome Magazine.
I am your host, Doc Rodden, and this is Gruesome Magazine. We review the very latest in streaming and video on demand and theatrical horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts Christopher G. Moore and Brian W. Smith will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Joining me tonight is my co-host, award-winning filmmaker Christopher G. Moore. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm starting to think maybe calling things a smart house may not be a good thing if the movie's involved, but that's just me.
Yeah, or is it really a smart house? Or is it a smart ass house? I don't know.
Well,
we'll find out. Also joining us tonight, screenwriter and member of the New York City Horror Film Festival, Brian W. Smith. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. Margot. This was a movie.
It was a movie. It was a movie, and it's going to be a fun review. I like your De Palma shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
All Def Leppard up on us here, right? Yeah. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you our first impressions of Margot. Those first impressions will be spoiler free. And then we're going to dive into a discussion, and we will be diving into spoilers at that point. It's going to be hard not to with this film to discuss it. And then we'll wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. And of course, we hope you enjoy not only this review, but many others that we have on the site. And if you do, please hit the like, the subscribe, or share with a friend. It will do us wonders. And we're trying to reach 5,000 YouTube subscribers. So help us get there. Yay. All right. Let's look at the card and get into business here. Margot. 2022 from Paramount, available on demand and streaming on Paramount Plus beginning September 9th, 2022. Synopsis is: a group of college friends rent a smart house for a weekend of partying. Later, they start to realize that Margot, the house's super advanced AI system, has sinister designs for them. Yes, that's all there. Directed by Stephen C. Miller, written by Chris Bayruti, Chris Siverston. I wanted to say Silverstone, but it's not Siverston. And Nick Waters. The cast includes Richard Harmon, Lachlan Monroe, Madison Pettis, Jedediah Goodacre, Vanessa Morgan, and Phoebe Mew. And let's get into this. What did we think of Margot? And you know it's coming. Brian W. Smith, you're up first. What was your first impression of this film?
Well, first impression was I didn't know anything about the film, so that's probably the best way to go in. And I thought Margot was going to be one of the main characters, so I was surprised to see it was a smart house. I was like, okay, this is it's interesting. Overall, I thought some of the practical effects, some of the gore and the special effects were pretty good. Got a little spotty towards the end, I will admit. It's kind of goofy in terms of why it's all happening and why people just won't get out and leave. But there are some big swings, some big ideas that you can tell they're sort of planning for something. Obviously, they want to franchise it or make it something bigger than it is. But I thought some of the ideas were interesting, different, and is it a great film? No, but is it fine for if you're just going to go stream it and look at people get hacked to pieces and killed off by a smart house? And yeah, that's the movie.
That's the movie. Some of the ideas are like big swings. Do they achieve them? Well, let's find out. Christopher G. Moore, sir, what was your first impression of Margot?
Or Smart Cabin in the Woods.
Smart Cabin. You know that I was thinking that too.
Yeah, or Alexa becomes Lawnmower Man. It's there's a lot of weird. I mean, actually, this feels like it. I see. It's almost like a combination of Deadly Friend and Chopping Mall.
But I was thinking of Chopping Mall quite a bit. Yeah.
But it's not as good as either of those things, and that's saying a lot. I did not like this film. Margot, more like Marg. No, I don't.
Marg, no.
I want to install this movie from my brain. You have people are they're supposed to be college students, and they're all at like in their 30s, so it's like 90210 level casting here. Secondly, I mean, this is like a rejected Black Mirror episode. It's got like sci-fi avid ideas that are more Star Trek level than reality. And it is trying to shoot for hire, because what this house can do with like what it can create is just kind of ridiculous. And then it has that sort of hackers level characters like the movie Hackers, where they're just able to do anything with a computer. And as someone that has a computer science degree, it always racks my brain like, that doesn't make sense. And but yeah, I don't know, a lot of the character decisions, there's times where things are happening and they're all just standing there doing this, not fighting back or anything. It's just there's even times where the house could do things and it doesn't. And then it kind of ends in a way trying to like it tries to up itself, I guess.
It was trying
times
very
in a way,
hard.
and I'm like, it's like just get over with. Yeah, it's a real mess of a movie that at times has characters instead of characters. There's a character that I feel like they just stole from Cabin in the Woods with the weed guy.
Yes,
And
very much so.
and then you have, of course, you have the social media person that's more of a caricature of that type of person, which felt like pulled out of bodies, but it's has all these different things that just feel that I really didn't see them as characters. I didn't see any. I mean, I guess maybe a little bit of chemistry between the computer girl and the guy, but overall it was just stupid.
Just
That's all I can say. It's just like
stupid.
this. Yeah. It's ugh. I just, this movie frustrated me extremely from a
Just-
storytelling point of view.
Yeah, just stupid. We're gonna put that on the box. Just stupid. This movie's a train wreck, but I couldn't keep my eyes off of it. There was something about this film. I wasn't frustrated with it, and I kind of got me at the beginning with the gore effects, and I was okay. I'm gonna give you a chance. And every once in a while, they would deliver on those gore effects. Every once in a while, and then they had this CGI stuff that was like so bad. It was like, that's really, I mean, that's terrible CGI. But, you know, at the same time, I don't know. I appreciated where they were, like you said, they were swinging for the fences, and I kind of appreciated that ballsiness of it. It's just they don't achieve it. And that's where the train wreck comes in. And I don't know. I kind of had stupid fun with it. It's not, is it a good movie? No. But I think there are many people in our audience that would enjoy, streaming this on Paramount Plus and watching it. Except Christopher G. Moore, of course. We're not going to make him watch it ever again. But yeah, another film that I thought it felt like was Escape Room. It had that vibe, not necessarily, the idea that they had to get, well, they kind of did. They had to get out, they escape the house, right? But this
yeah, but there's
I think it had the same level of characterizations in terms of like how memorable they were,
Yeah, but at least Escape, I mean, this house is kind of beautiful, but at least there was reasons how they're trying to escape. And this one, the reasons didn't make any sense.
Nothing made much sense.
No, it's like, and then and I guess we're already in Spoilerville, but
we're in spoilers, yes.
Yeah, just how the main character, how she figures out,
well,
again, it's a hacker level of like, I'm going to create a firewall for my room, and all these
they set that up. They check off coded that in the beginning of it.
Yeah, but how does she know where to? I mean, I don't know. It's movie magic. They just magically create scenarios for these characters to automatically figure out some way around.
There's a lot of plot armor, right? There's a lot of plot armor.
Or do we assume that the house cleaned up the earlier mess and put the house back on the market
it had to, right?
How do you? Well, then how the heck do you clean the blood out of sand in the opening scene? I mean, first of all, I was like, I would hate to have a house because you'd always be tracking sand around in the little rock thing where the little relaxation chair is,
right?
And just I mean, the level. The level of technology that would need to create any of this stuff doesn't make sense. And you have like almost like it's Doc Ock's house, basically.
Right.
I know.
And I kept expecting Doc Ock to show up.
That was questionable CGI there.
That was like third rate.
Yeah, and then you
I
had
was like, oh my god.
well, then you had like the paint that can create human-like people, like the Marvel MCU stuff where they show this
That
is.
pushed it. That pushed it.
I mean,
I mean,
But
I was on board. Not that I was on board. I just had no choice. It was like, all right,
right.
fine. Let's see where they
yeah,
take this. You know, with the cloning and all that. And
That's where I was like, okay, this is stupid, but I'm going to go with it because I want to see what they want to do with these people that they're making. And it was funny on the first one, you know, because they had the two guys uncomfortable, but so you
But then
knew they were going to do it
even that
again.
part felt so outdated. It's like 2022, and they're like, oh, well, they were like wasting so much time on just like the panic of it. And I was just like,
Yeah.
I feel like we've seen so many Truth or Dare movies with teens where they're like they try to get the two girls to kiss or whatever. It's like I was like, okay, we're just gonna spend time with this scene again,
Again.
and then they tried to flip it, but it was just like it just became like total panic, and I'm like, this
yeah.
is
Well,
2022, you know,
well,
who wrote this?
it also it feels like those early 2000 like teen type movies, you know,
Like it
because
was
there's
sitting around for a while, and they
yeah,
forgot
because
to
there's well, there's also that like there's times where they just play this music and they go from scene to scene, and then like the
it was
slow motion
it
and
was endless in the opening. It was like wall to wall music. I was like, wait, how many? They really
I
tried to sell the
know.
soundtrack. I was
This
like,
felt
this
like one of those '90s movies where they just pack all these different songs to pack, but none
every
of the songs
scene.
are
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You could definitely, this was definitely intended to go to the theaters, much like, you know, the escape room movies did.
Well,
Yeah.
and you know, I will say it's like they have. I mean, there's some of the special effects, visual effects looked okay, you know, because there's a lot of green screen. There's a whole green screen hologram room, which
Yeah.
is like even Star Trek probably could make something at that level. And but then it's like there are times where I mean they just overused, and it almost seemed like to try to pat it out. They overused like the slow-mo stuff in several scenes for no apparent reason other just to look cool. And I don't know. There's just there. I just was so
There,
infuriated by like just the stupidity of these characters in this movie.
I did enjoy the shenanigans with the love triangle at the end, when Margot takes on a personality, a form. I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed how they kind of brought in a little twist. I don't know if I want to spoil it here, but you guys know what I'm talking about. But there's a little
Yeah.
twist with that triangle thing, and I don't know.
It was also weird to see them sort of take on Margot in that form when we'd already seen the actual character get killed. So it was like watching her get beat down by all the friends. It was just kind of like weird.
But they've been
like,
wanting to do that all weekend long, so it was kind of fun.
is that what you get? I don't know. It was strange.
They're not even real.
I know.
I know. Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't know. As someone that actually wanted to go into AI when I had my computer science degree, this movie, there's just no.
Oh,
this would have to take place like hundreds of years from now, and I'm not even sure this could ever happen. And it does feel like a Black Mirror episode, where it's almost like it has a sci-fi edge to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then to me, that's the only interesting thing about it. I mean, I almost feel like it should have been scaled back to be just like a normal, Alexa, Siri house type situation, and yeah, you can 3D print stuff. And I mean, some of that stuff is kind of ridiculous. You can 3D print stuff now and do all this stuff, but it's like, I was like, does this house like have a never ending supply of food? How are they? And I was like, I think the whole funny thing was like,
how did they get all the weed, right?
Well, yeah. I just thought it was very funny that the whole bit at the very beginning before they leave and the couple's like, and she's gonna do the grapefruit blowjob thingy with them,
right?
And then when they go into the bedroom in the house, there's a bunch of grapefruits with holes in it. That made me laugh because somehow Margot knew about that. So, but I don't know, things like that. It's like the level of like the ability of what it could create. It just seemed ridiculous.
Well, they were trying for some social commentary about, through social media, they learn everything about you.
I guess
because
so,
our heroine doesn't have any social media.
But then again, it just felt like, let's over explain this is my plan. I'm this evil robot entity, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, shit.
And then the ending with all the kung fu or, the sort of martial arts fighting. I'm so done with the martial arts fighting at the end. Like, give me like a Wes Craven beatdown type thing. I don't need like Matrix fights and stuff. I don't know. That bothered
Feels
me. It took the thriller aspect out of it. I think I
yeah.
wonder if there's a better movie in here where it's like if you took, and I don't know if someone else has made this type of movie. Maybe it was a short film somewhere out there, but like a HAL from 2001 type of more psychological
Mhm.
smart house where maybe the main character just thinks she's going crazy. Maybe the house doesn't talk as much. Maybe there's a little more
Yep. Yep.
feeling of manipulation or paranoia. But they didn't boost on it because she's such an intrusive character with her
Oh, and her language. Oh, the
attempts at
dialogue was
slang and
horrible. Yeah.
yeah, I was just like, I don't
Well,
know.
Yeah,
I,
there's been a couple movies in the past 4 or 5 years that have done the AI and the house thing, and some of them I can't remember the name of it. But there's one where there's a couple in a house and gets
Yeah.
locked in there, and they just control doors and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's all she really does. But it's a big red light on one wall. It does feel very HAL.
well, HAL
Oh.
2000. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I almost thought it was going to have some big twist where like this is some alien technology or something because it just
Oh, wouldn't
seemed
it be great if it
so
did?
out there the ability
Everything she
this
was
thing
able to
house
do. Yeah.
had. I mean,
Oh,
and although I will say there was like one time where it killed somebody and said the pun that I actually laughed out loud. What I think when it's about to kill the couple, the guy is tied down and it's like, I know you want to smash. And that was the
Yeah.
only thing because this is so stupid. It's like it turned into like this computer turned into the Terminator or Arnold Schwarzenegger at this point. Oh, by the way, I wonder if Pringles is gonna get mad.
Oh.
How are they able to?
I don't know. I wonder if they
product
got a
placement
license with
in
Pringles
this.
and then they didn't know what they were
I
doing.
mean, they
with it.
covered up the face a good bit. You could actually see it though, but I was
They
like,
they label it by name.
how are
so.
they able to use that? I mean, I'm sure Pringles would want people to buy them for munchies, but I'm not sure if they want people to use it as a bong.
I guess I would have to say that with the pool scene, if you're not ready to leave after you're almost killed by
No
the pool,
kidding.
and you know it's the smart house doing it, or in some way, I would say, yeah, maybe they needed to just stay there and die. I guess I don't know.
What was that? Where was the girl's feet on that the bicycle? Was it were her feet in the thing on the bicycle?
They were looped in. Yeah, they were like
Yeah,
strapped
they were.
in.
There was
At first,
there
I
was a-
thought she could just get
Why
off.
couldn't she just get it? Yeah, no, they're usually looped in, but I guess they were like secured loops or whatever. But
Yeah,
that was
because when she stepped into them, they
yeah.
Okay.
secured around her feet. Yeah.
When that stupid weed guy lit his lighter and then he looked like he came from a Scooby Doo movie.
I know,
I was
my
like,
God.
what the hell is going on? This is stupid. This is like turned into like freaking Bugs Bunny movie.
What did he drink? What did he drink that killed him? Because I was it acid?
think
What
it
did
was
she?
some
Some kind of acid.
All
Yeah.
you saw was that little.
Because it wasn't water. It was like whatever it was. Yeah. He's like,
And then
"You're
he
gonna be
had
okay."
his hand down in the thing, and he had his hand was all messed up, but they never showed anything with his hand getting.
Yeah.
So it looks like somewhere along the line they went a little further, but it didn't make it into the final cut. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd love the part. I understand what you're saying, Christopher, but at the same time, I thought the movie was just like so dumb at this point that the fact that that there's all this gas in there and he lights this thing and they take the time. Oh, come on, baby, don't fail me now. And then it goes. You see the faraway shot and it just goes poof.
Boom.
And, it's real
and
quick.
I just assumed
It's just
he'd
real
been-
quick
he'd
and
been
it's done, right?
incinerated and dead.
I figured
And then
that
he
too.
gets
Yeah.
up and his hair's out like he's just like a turned into a Jim Carrey movie.
Yeah,
And
oh
I
my
don't
God, that
understand
was
what
that was
happened. I mean,
the best thing ever. I thought it
did-
was so good.
oh, I was like, that ruined me. I was like, this tone is not. There's no tone in this. The
No, it's
toner's
certainly-
not in the printer.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's give our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. And we all three have to pick a different favorite scene. Brian, you've got it easy. You're up first.
Oh, all right. I'll give this a 3. It's
Fair,
watchable.
fair.
It's watchable. I mean, the opening scene, it's gory and gruesome, and then the special effects get spotty as they go. Characters are kind of forgettable. I just refer to them as the teens or with the college kids or whatever.
Mhm.
I would say my favorite scene, spoiler, is the ending when I kind of figured it was going to reveal that the boyfriend is the clone, and
Mhm.
he sort of stuffs out and like all the all the white stuff comes out of him.
Aliens
That was
too.
I feel like
Yes,
that
it's
was
very
I feel like that was meant to be more impactful than it actually turned out to be. I forgot his name, so it just didn't really do anything for me. And I was just trying to guess like when did it happen, and I was like, who cares? But yeah, that scene. I thought that scene was pretty cool because I kind of knew where it was headed. Um, but it just wasn't as impactful as I guess they expected it to be. And then the ending kind of felt like, is she in trouble now in the car? Is she going to get out? Is there a sequel? I don't know if I care, but I'm sure there will be another movie made. So yeah, the scene with the guy at the ending with the boyfriend just sort of revealed to not be. It was all almost like it was all a dream, or it's just that was pretty interesting.
well. The actor Jedediah Goodacre, who plays that character,
Hmm.
was on Sabrina. He was it Dorian Gray?
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if you watched Sabrina, but he was Dorian Gray on that.
I did. I don't remember all the characters, but okay, interesting.
He
Was
owned the
he
bar. He owned the bar.
was he blonde in that, or
Yes, very
he
much
was?
so. Yeah,
Huh.
Christopher. What is your final thoughts, your score, and your favorite scene?
You know, well, you know me. I'm a big lover of 80s movies, and they're as stupid as they come a lot of times. But this is just stupid, non-entertaining stupid. And as it goes along, I just kept looking at my watch. I did never got like I never got entranced by this film. If anything, it just made me feel like I was dumber for watching it.
Ouch.
And I mean, it's got some, like you said, it's got some big ideas. It does feel like some throwaway concepts from Black Mirror. And it has those kind of Deli Friend chopping. Well, this feels like a movie. Well, if you took away a lot of the CGI effects, it could have been a movie made like in the 90s or 2000s. If you scaled back some of the abilities of the house. But overall, it's a real mess of a movie. The characters don't make their decisions don't make a lot of sense. How they get out of certain situations don't make a lot of sense. I mean, there's even a part where the computer person is chasing after the one girl, and they could have easily just turned the water hot and killed her. And they don't even do that. So there's just like so many opportunities. I was like, why even show the shower? I guess the main thing is just I don't know. I'm not gonna try to read any kind of logic because I really feel like it was just like this is one of those kind of concept movies to where the concept they put more effort into. Let's make a movie around this concept as well as opposed to making that concept make a lot of sense. And then the whole ending is like a hat on a hat on a hat on a hat.
Oh my God, so many hats. Yes.
It's like, oh, I fooled you again. Oh, I fooled you again. Oh, you thought you were. Oh, you're okay. Let's just stop. And I don't mind it every once in a while. You having your Halloween 3s, your carries. You have, but at some point it's just
they literally give us 3 hats in one scene.
No, it's like a hat store by the end of it. So it's a mess of a movie. I mean, it's shot well. I'll give them that much. There's, I mean, regardless of their overuse of certain like slow-mo scenes, like that whole thing where the girl like gets exploded and goes back through the sparks in slow motion. I mean,
oh yes,
that was should have been for a better movie, used for a better movie. But overall, it's not good. At least I didn't get to it. Maybe I'm not the right audience for it because it does feel like a younger set movie where you just don't go into it with not expectations. Kind of. I mean, I've had a lot of friends that love bodies, but they're much younger than I am. So maybe maybe I've just become that. Get off of my non-electronic yard, So I'll give it a 2.25.
Okay, that's better than I was expecting.
Well, I mean, it like I said, it was shot well. So a lot of times, at least I'll give it that sometimes. Although this year's been a few times that didn't help it either. As for favorite scene, I almost want to go with the where the computer made the smash joke, because that was the only entertaining thing I found, because it was so stupid. It made me laugh. But I don't know. I may be stealing this from you, Doc, but I like when the guy's head exploded into the opening scene. The guy's
Yes,
head
and to
exploded
his girlfriend or wife or
in
whatever she
girlfriend's
was.
face. I was like, and I was like, as much as that opening scene was, like, this has potential. And then the potential went sliding down the hill.
Yep.
Lachlan Monroe as the Drew Barrymore.
Yes.
Yes.
So strange. He just shows up everywhere nowadays.
Yeah. So yeah. So I'll say that scene, the head exploding scene, which is another was done better in Deadly Friend.
It was better, yeah, on basketball. I don't know if you guys remember a 70s film called Demon Seed, which
I know of it. Never saw it.
has a lot of similarities here. You know, there's an AI, but it's not necessarily AI for a house, but it becomes part of the house, and it kind of takes control of all the electronics. It's really, it gets even weirder than this, but it ends up being better. You guys should check it out. We covered it on Decades of Horror 70s, but it reminds me of that movie as well. Yes, this movie is incredibly stupid. The plot takes liberties. There's plot armor all over the place. It often doesn't make sense. There's like, if you're so smart, why didn't you think of this kind of problems, right? But at the same time, I don't know. I found it stupid fun in a train wreck sort of way. Like I said at the beginning, it was kind of like watching just watching it. Instead of evolve, it was devolving in front of me. And I don't know, it threw enough wacky ideas in there that I was kind of like, okay, where are you going to go with that? That's stupid. Where are you going to go with it? And then they would go with it. And I was like, okay, now where are you going to go? Oh, okay, you're going to keep going with it. So I don't know. I think a 3 is probably where I'm going to land. I think Brian's right. 3 is a good place for this to sit. I don't know if I would recommend it, but I wouldn't fault anybody for streaming it on Paramount Plus and just watching it, because there's going to be, I think you're right, Christopher, that many of our listeners are going to enjoy it just because they're not cranky old farts like I am, right? They're gonna be a little bit more, I don't know, as a target audience, right? Because they're going to be more into their phones and and having, the social media, and they're going to relate to that. And I mean, I have social media, but I don't really relate to it. It's more of a pain in the ass than it is something that you rely on, right? So, favorite scene, what am I going to, I'm going to go back to the shenanigans with the love triangle at the end, just because even though it was obvious something was going to happen, I just liked how they did it, until they did it again, and they did it again. But the first time they did it, I was all in. I was like, okay, that was good. Mm-hmm. You got it, right? But then they just overplayed that end, and I was like, you should stop where you were at, but okay, keep going. And then it got fun when they brought all the others back, but I don't know. At that point, it was like, you're done. Come on, rev it up. So I don't know. Brian, is this a guilty pleasure?
Was this the one I think I emailed you about, saying that it could have been shaved by 15 minutes?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was my feeling, because I was like, I'm feeling the length of this film where it could have just been shaved by 15 minutes. A little more snappier and less martial arts. Yeah, right? Less martial arts.
All right, well, there you go. That's our review for Margot. It's streaming now on Paramount Plus, or it's available on VOD. Check it out. Let us know what you think about it in the comments down below. I'm sure you have something to say, and we want to read it, so let us know. Oh man, Christopher, Brian, thank you so much for joining me. This was a lot of fun.
No problem.
It's more fun talking about it.
Yes. Well, September is pretty full for us. We got quite a bit of films lined up, including Barbarian next week, and then ending the month with Smile, which looks like to be another stupid fun kind of movie.
Yeah.
like, are they're gonna make that idea work, or is it gonna fall on its face? Well, I can't wait to find out. Right.
I hope it's good.
I hope it's good too. It's got potential. You got potential. All right, guys. Let's get out of here. Let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.